Cool. So I'll introduce myself. I'm Banu. So I'm working as a Linux device driver developer. So currently, I'm working at AMD. So my we are about to start an embedded systems course at ProV Logic. So this would be the one stop for every electrical engineer or electronics engineer who wants to seek their career into like VLSI or embedded system somewhere. So basically, what this course consists of, I'm going to share my PPT. So so can you guys confirm that you are seeing the screen? Yeah.
Yes, it is visible.
Great. Great. So basically, this is the embedded software development course where most of you guys are like maybe some service providing companies will pick you guys up when you guys have done your bachelor's from some named universities or somewhere, so that you'll be knowing some great stuff into the Python and also some basics about the C language and all. So if you guys are having the somehow a greater foundation in terms of the electronics and all, so some service-based companies will pick you guys up and they'll provide you the placements. Basically, for a service-based company, it is really easy to provide some testing role rather than a developer role. Until unless we are equipped with greater amount of stuff regarding the embedded systems and all. So this is really especially this training is for the people who have recently graduated or even in their graduation, or if we, people are still working in the testing roles into some big MNCs or somewhere. So this would be a kickstart for them to understand more about the internals of Linux kernel and all, so that they will be understanding more about the Linux structure, how actually the operating system is like. You will be getting greater hands-on with the Linux kernel and all, right? So the agenda of this course is like we will make you the industry readiness by teaching the Linux kernels and Linux kernel fundamentals and the driver architecture, and also the skeleton of the drivers will be taught for you, so that like based on uh, the way you're dealing with the stuff and all, so that we'll be promoting you to the next stage. Maybe like if you guys are equipped, maybe in the first 1 to 3 months of training, that would be much more enough stuff than you guys to you can enter into the industry. So basically, that's what we are aiming to build a strong embedded system fundamentals to the people who have joined this course. So the working professionals, for example, I can say someone who is working as a testing engineer, or like any driver verification engineer, or like any Linux verification engineer who are working in the MNCs, they will be having greater amount of more understanding regarding the Linux kernel and also the operating system. That's where the basic cinema comes into the picture, right? So the Linux, how it is working, how it is booting, the boot flow and all. So you will be knowing that one. But for the people who are like into their graduation, or like recent graduates, who might be not aware of the process, how the Linux boots and all. So what is the bootloader, and what is the Linux kernel, and what's the boot file system and all. So this will provide them a greater understanding regarding the fundamentals, the building blocks of embedded Linux and all. So up to here, any doubts you guys have?
Guys, please
You
be
can
active.
Yeah,
So
so you
whenever-
can raise your hand, or like if you are shy to put your question by saying something, so you can raise your hand, or like you can put your questions in the chat box so that I'll understand the stuff. Okay, so please talk something. Okay, so it's not about you like we want you to interact more with the trainer or like the speaker. It's all about the way we need to understand that the people are getting the stuff $100. Okay, at least like if you can able to understand, give me the thumbs up, or like if you have any doubts, and also you can raise your hand. So if you don't have anything to ask, you can give a thumbs down, so that I'll say that again. Okay, that is good. Someone is responding. Great. Okay, I'll continue further then. So as I said, like this is more about, this is not for the people who are interested in the bare metal, or who are interested in somewhere like a free autos. Like it's an operating system which have only one core, but the embedded Linux is like which is I'm gonna say you it's a more or less all of whatever the equipment you just take, like your smartphone application, it's a smartphone is an application of embedded Linux. Whatever a car infotainment system is an application of embedded Linux. Whatever the application you see, it's an application of embedded Linux wherever you go. If you see the digital cluster somewhere, like if your watch, smart watches, or like if your audio system, whatever like whatever the embedded real applications, if you see, it consists of embedded Linux, right? So basically it runs on the every system runs on the Linux and all. So this is more about making you guys understanding more about the hardware, and based on the hardware we'll be making our operating system to work on. That's what the like people are building the hardware blocks and all. So who gives the shape to the hardware architecture and all? So the software engineers are intended to write the software that blocks of software that needs to work on the hardware that hardware guys are designing, right? So as a software engineer, we are giving them the shape, right? So until unless the software runs on the hardware, how can they gonna identify their hardware is like working or something like that? So that's where like the software guys are giving the shape to the hardware, what actually they're designing. So it's a mutual sort of thing. So for software to run, hardware is needed. For software to run, hardware is needed. Similarly, the software is also needed for the hardware guys to just verify whether the hardware is working fine or not. So that's what it's a mutual sort of thing. Interdependency is there. So the people, so ProV Logic provides the same. The people who are interested after, even after their bachelor's, the people from electronics background or electrical background, if they're interested into the software sort of thing or like hardware sort of thing, it would be one-stop solution for everyone. So it will provide the uh, VLSI training, more if you can say more about the VLSI training. So they'll provide the design verification, physical design, and a lot of from basics to the expert level, they'll make you there. So that would be great thing regarding the VLSI. When it comes to the embedded systems, so in the embedded systems, it is a thing. If the people are having some sort of logic understanding, if the people can able to understand a bit logic, so if the thinking, if they can able to construct the micro instructions from down the bottom, if I ask them to solve a solution, they need to construct the problem, they need to construct the solution step by step. Each and every micro instruction plays a crucial role while understanding and while solving the problem, right? So if they can able, if this is the prerequisites that are needed for someone to take someone in the embedded systems course from ProV Logic. Apart from that, nothing is needed, because we are here to teach you the C element level C. We need some from very basic level of C, the way it compilation process happens, and the memory management, how it works in the C compilation, and from there on, like how do you guys gonna compile the software by from your free hands, like that would be everything teached from here at ProV Logic. So we will be in the first month we'll be making you to readiness with the C language. That's where the powerful C is our powerful tool, so that like we will make you to understand the each and every micro instructions that are needed to provide the solution to a problem. So if I gave you any problem to solve, you guys, you can have to you need to construct each and every micro instructions to be a part of solution, so that when you are very detailed about the micro instructions in terms of setting a solution, that would be much enough for you guys in terms of writing a logic, no matter whether it's a C language, it's a Python, it's a Java, whether anything, it doesn't matter. But the platform we are choosing is like depends on the application we are writing. If we are interested into the embedded systems or somewhere, so it would be the C. If we are more into the automation somewhere, like it would be the Python. If you are building an application like some gaming somewhere, like I'm not sure about the other sort of things, but we are concentrating more into the embedded systems, so that's why we have chosen C. So yeah, so when you are enough kicked with the C language, we'll further move towards C++, and we will writing the user space applications from C++, and we'll be strong enough. So just to boost our career when we enter into the industry, C++ is much needed thing nowadays. So it will be added into our bucket once we are dealing with the basic stuff like C and Co. So hope you guys are able to understand what I'm trying to say. Just give me a thumbs up if you can able to understand, or else like we'll navigate the other way, so that I'll make you to understand. Bharati, thumbs up, great. So someone raised their hand. So do they have any doubt? Can I take it like that? Sujit, thumbs up, great. Yeah, Srinidhi, you have doubt. Can you please speak out if you have any?
No, sir. No.
You good? Okay, great. So when it is okay. Yeah, so today webinar agenda. So what actually the webinar is about, how to create awareness regarding the people. So I don't want everyone to take it as a C language. It's a tough language, but it's a I really condemn you in terms of taking it a critical language or like hard language. It's Can you please take off such a false assumption, such a false propaganda that you heard from recent years or something from your brain, because that's the first language invented by the Dennis Ritchie. So it's really helpful thing. So the laptops, the smartphones, whatever smart applications we are using, the IoT applications or anything that we are using right now, these are like came from stepping stone for the invention of all these things. Is like I can simply say C plays a crucial role in terms of inventing all this stuff and all, because that's where the first operating system is the Linux, where it was completely written in C language. That's why I've been keep on praising C language like anything from the starting of our agenda meeting. Okay, so that's where like if you guys are not more into the C and all, so this embedded systems training will make you guys really care about the C language, and you guys will feel more about C. That C is not anymore a tough language or something like that. So that we will make you to industry. We will make you industry readiness while with just so if people, I can proudly say that if you guys are equipped with greater C knowledge and all, so you're good enough to kickstart your career into embedded applications. That's where, right? Okay, so I'm going to explain what are the industry expectations, and how a C engineer, a C programming engineer can face the challenges in the C and in the industry, and what industry expectations on an engineer. So how the ProV Logic gonna solve this, and also the roadmap for the whole uh, embedded systems training in ProV Logic, and how the career growth opportunities would like, and the course structure and duration. So the placement strategy going to explain by Prashanti at the end. How we're going to provide the support and assistance for the people who have done their first initial months of their training. Once they're done with the initial months, like 3 or 4 months of training, we will put them into the based on the connections we have, we'll put you into the developer positions if they are working from the testing positions, or if you people are based on your knowledge, if you are equipped with Python language, we'll put you into embedded testing roles where you can understand more about the Linux kernels rather. So people who are joined into the testing positions, it's not an easy job for yeah, for such an individual to verify the great stuff and all. At least you need to equip with the Linux kernels, internals, and the Linux architecture, everything, so that you can do great stuff while you are working in your testing role and all. So the people who are already working in the testing roles, it would be they will be having great knowledge for sure. But if they want to kickstart their career as a developer into the Linux, this course would really helpful for them. So when we jump into the next slide, so if you can see like how from the silicon, the sand, we usually see the sand from sand, we can see day to day, right? So the sand to how the chip is made. So this would be the structure, and also the VLSA people are really responsible for making the sand to a chip. So SOC or something like that. Based on that, the applications that we are developing as an embedded engineer. So nowadays, you guys can see how AI is booming, how AI is like really challenging. So it's been solving mystery problems from decades onwards. Like that was not solved by the human brain. How AI is solving nowadays, that you can see, that is all because of the world-class engineers making the things like how to say this, like may, the way they're solving problem solving. So the solve as I said, right? So the problem, when you can see able to see the problem clearly, so you need to find so you need to dig slowly towards the problem, so that you will find the solution. So that's where like every micro instruction in terms of solving a problem is really important. That's where the learning, the real learning comes from. So no matter whether you do have prerequisites about the stuff, no matter it doesn't need for anyone. So the people, there is a strong saying: if you learn what you're doing, you will become a pro. If you learn what you're not, what you haven't studied, you will become a leader. That's what like when you don't know what you're doing, so it will make you a master in it. At least like finally, if you can able to find the solution once in a time, you will become a master in it. So that's where like it doesn't really matter whether what solution you want to identify for the problem. If you really don't aware of the problem that in your previous times or the recent times, if you are trying to find solution for that one, it would be a great opportunity for you to become a master or like a leader somewhere. So that's where like I suggest you people, if you don't understand C language or Python previously, that's not a big deal. So what actually we want you guys to have is like a problem solving. If you can able to understand the problem, what actually the problem is, so just put your mind to the problem and find the solution. That's where the actual solution comes from, right? So thinking about a problem is a good deal. Uh, so try you guys, if you can able to excel this thing in your real life, you will become like you unbeatable. You can enter into any industry. That's where I can say. So the reality in embedded systems. Okay, so So people, as I said on my very first call regarding the test engineers, so some providers it would be really easy for them to put into the testing role because testing doesn't mean that whether the proper so if the feature on the Linux is working on, that's not only the job for testing that Linux feature to work on, they need to boot the system from zero to, so just from silicon to the software readiness on the system, right? So for them, they need to boot the system, and once the system is up, there are like a four fundamental parts that are needed for the system to up, which is called the software, like booting software we used to say embedded Linux. So once the software is up and the software is running, so then they can only test the feature, right? For them to understand. So it is not easy for a testing engineer to understand the Linux as well. Even though they do have, when they have done this for repetitive times, maybe they'll be knowing that okay, we this issue we're gonna find, so that like their team lead gonna come to them. So we are facing this issue, so that he will be helping them so to solve the problem by that time. But they're really not aware of the process of what actually is down going from down the bottom. So this course going to help them, the testing engineers who are struggling in their current jobs regarding the Linux and all. So the people who are still like testing the device drivers in their Linux position, testing positions, but what actually the skeleton of the Linux driver that they might not be aware of. Suppose like if someone who is working in a Linux testing position, so they need to check for the DMA, what actually the DMA task is like, the test case which are really implemented by the developer. So the test case is not implemented, but the test case needs to be written by the test engineer in terms of Python. So to check for the feature, but at least the test engineer need to be aware of the DMA, how it is working, right? So the DMA channels will be there. What actually makes the DMA comes up once the system is completely booted up? How DMA channels are defined in the what's like a system.dtb, like DTBs are there, like device trees and all that. So how these system device trees are defined in the DMA channels are defined in the system tree, how the nodes are defined, how the hardware knowledge we are providing to the say, Linux kernel and all. So that those all are the things we'll be providing here in this course. I'll make you guys to understand about how from zero to heroes. I don't say like that, but you'll be getting some great understanding regarding how the DTB it's a fundamental component in the Linux software to up. So that U-boot scripting something is there, right? So U-boot, the complete U-boot, you'll be understanding how what is the role of U-boot, what actually the boot ROM can do. So all this stuff, and also basically we'll be using the software and the laptops every day to day. We'll be using, but before turning the power on, so from the point you turn on the power, there to the control provides to the user, like you can able to move your cursor only once the system is completely up, right? So between the process, what actually happened, you were not really aware of that, right? So we will be working on that part. So what actually makes your system to work on? So from here on, the user space applications will work from the system which is already booted from down the bottom. So the user space applications like any YouTube or any Google Map or like any what's like there are like Microsoft applications are there, like a PPT presentation. So like a Teams call, all these are user space applications. So once the system is completely booted up, how all these things are doing their job when the system is completely booted up. So I'll be making you to understand the boot flow, and I'll be asking you, I'll be teaching something like how the boot arguments are passed from one stage to another stage, secure boot flow, everything I'll be making you to understand. And once like for suppose like example, I say like a Qualcomm gonna introduce a big processor, like I don't know how many of you guys are aware of about a Snapdragon. So there are like a Snapdragon processor running in the industry right now. So you might be like, which version of Snapdragon it is running right now? Can someone says some X, some X, some X is running right now. What about like they introduce X square or something? So it like their expectations are like it would be running at two times like double the speed that the X processor is running. So for that, the processor to run, they need to make a new silicon, isn't it? So the new silicon is like a new processor that they have designed. So what a Linux engineer can do is like the processor that's where the processor they have designed. As a Linux embedded Linux engineer, we'll be testing it. So whatever the hardware that are newly developed on the new SoC, that would be teach it to the kernel Linux operating system, so that via system device tree and all. So with this device tree, we'll be feeding the information to the what's that? Linux kernel and all, so that like the Linux kernel will be having the knowledge regarding the hardware that are newly developed from the phone and something like that. So that based on the hardware, it will be using that the hardware what we have defined in the. Someone is saying something. So that hey, some people are talking. I don't know. Pradesh, you're saying something? If you're not saying something, you can mute yourself. That's great. Thanks. Okay, so if Qualcomm, the context I have explained, right? So the hardware the hardware team have developed their part. So what actually the software part is, it's need to be verified. Who comes into the picture then? The Linux verification engineers comes into the picture. So for that, the verification engineers have to verify the new features that are developed by the hardware team. So the Linux software developers, they need to look into the hardware, what actually the device tree have provided, and into the Linux device tree. They need to put a new features that actually the hardware, what actually the hardware regarding the hardware memory, internal memory registers regarding the hardware information, and what address cells it needs to be, the information regarding the address cells and the size of the memory, and how it is compatible with the Linux kernel that we are developing. So all this information that need to become available in the that are to be available in the device tree. So if it is available in the device tree, then only the Linux kernel can able to utilize the proper hardware. So can you able to construct the things that I'm saying here in the class? You can able to construct, right? So you can able to analyze how the Linux and the hardware, how the bridges how these things are bridging up and working for us. Can you able to visualize that? You can't able to visualize that on the very first day, but we will make you to understand how this Linux is completely integrating, collaborating with the actual hardware that we are running every day to day. So and that's where like the primary and most fundamental blocks of the embedded Linux comes into the picture. So the one is like Yogurt, and from initially the boot ROM, who is take care of the boot Linux boot, the flow, everything. It will be like a loading the first boot and how the boot sequences will be happening. So these words for someone in this class, maybe like you guys will be not aware of all these the stuff what I have said now. But soon, maybe soon after joining, 1 to 2 months, you will be knowing that one. So that's where like so what I have said on the very first day, you will be getting delivered all this stuff and all. That's what the promise. As someone is saying something, what's in the chat box? Sir, your voice is little blurring. Is that same for everyone? That's where like Ashwin is saying he's from a domain. That's great, Ashwin. So okay, yes, he's saying it's clear, sir. It's clear for Akash. And okay, Ashwin, what I would suggest is like, can you please sit some place where you can get the clear network, and also that would be uh, your might be it's your network issue. So soon this is the issue, right? So you soon after joining this course, like what actually your how your network is interrupting, what's the culprit who is interrupting your network as a system you are using, right? So you gonna understand these fundamentals, everything. So because the hardware people's job is they design, they have something in their brain and implement the design in terms of hardware. So we need to utilize that hardware, what actually the hardware people have designed. Software people needs to write an application which is called the software to work on that, to make use of that actual hardware and all. So you guys like might be I really congratulate these 32 people who are in the class who wants to see their career into embedded systems. I really appreciate you guys. Maybe like due to lack of your understanding regarding the embedded systems, might be it take this long amount of time for you to step into the embedded Linux. But whatever the decision you have taken regarding stepping into the embedded Linux, embedded system, something. So great stuff. I really congratulate you guys. So great for great step into the embedded Linux from here on. So yeah, as I said, like I will be making people to like how to deal with the interviews and all, how to crack the interviews, how what how how you guys need to solve the programs, and if they ask you to write a logic, you don't need to panic into the interview, because they are asking you to whatever I said, how you are dealing a problem with your construction, how you are constructing the problem, and how you are constructing your steps, each and every micro steps you are constructing to get the final solution. That's where each and every interview people looks into, right? So I'm gonna make you to that readiness to from fear to crack an interviews. Okay, so that would be the agenda of this course as well. And as I said, like these all of the contents we have already covered. So only the 20% of engineers development embedded in the embedded development. So whatever the 20 engineers, 20% of out of 100 engineers, whatever these 20 engineers develop, the 80% of engineers need to test them. It doesn't mean that development is limited for only 20%. It's not like that, but the people in the real-time scenario, 20 engineers who are interested in the development, they are like taking the risks in terms of joining and learning the new stuff by joining any embedded courses, or like it's all about their passion. The 20% of engineers have huge passion about regarding the embedded development, and 80% of engineers they just want to do the job. I don't think all the 80% will have the same perspective in terms of doing the job, but most of the people are having the same context. But if the people are taking some more risk in terms of like if from morning 10 to evening 6, if they do their job, at least they spend 1 or 2 hours of their time in terms of exploring a bit more about the Linux kernel internals and all. So that would be it is really enough for them to switch into their career as a developer. That would be easy thing, right? So what I'm promising is like from next year on, from next 3 to 4 months, you will be changing your career if you are concentrating here. So the thing, that's what we are trying. We are making you guys to try and like equip like anything. We will make you to bombard like a great world-class engineer gonna works onto the embedded Linux by teaching them whatever the stuff that are really needed to work in the industry. That's what the agenda of this course is. So yeah, as I said, like people bare metal, which is like bare metal is microcontrollers. We can simply say that. So even microcontrollers doesn't have processor, but the SoC is embedded on the processor itself, like the board itself. So you people are this course is not about the bare metal stuff and all, but more about the embedded Linux, where actually the stuff I have explained till now, that's going to take place here on. So we will provide you the hardware. So that's can you please make yourself comfortable from here on if you didn't understand the stuff that I have teach till now. So what actually we are trying to do is like once you done with your C language, from here
Just
on,
a second,
we
Bhanu. I have shared a link, ProV Logic website link, where we put all the course content. You just open that link and you can show.
Did you just paste it in the chat box?
Okay.
Yeah, sir, what's your thought about IoT? So, Akash, that's great question. IoT, that's where like it's a part of embedded Linux, isn't it? So, if you say like embedded Linux as a whole body, it's a heart, IoT. Whatever the smart applications nowadays we are developing, so for them, they'll be utilizing the Linux kernel and developing the IoT applications. Suppose if I say smartphone application or like a smart health, some health home interiors are there. So suppose if someone ring the bell at your doorstep, even though if you're not there, so your doorbell gonna respond in terms of you saying that I'm not here at the home at right the moment. So can you please leave your message or like may know who you are at my doorstep. I'll be back in some time, maybe in next 1 hour or maybe next 2 hours. Can you please come back? That is what like your doorbell gonna say that to the people. It's a really great invention from smart engineers like IoT engineers or kernel engineers. So IoT works on the Linux kernel. So if you guys are working in IoT, you will become a great engineer. Maybe after some time, when you explore more about the Linux kernel, and also you'll be writing if you're like a camera appliances, if you're working on, so you need to work on camera device driver. So that's where like the driver, which is a part of Linux kernel. And if you're working on any health applications, suppose if endoscopy, if for example, I can say endoscopy, it also comes under the IoT Internet of Things. So endoscopy, you need to send a camera inside the human body just to look for the stuff and all, so that wherever you see the tumor in there, suppose I'm not aware of the endoscopy process how it looks like, but if there are a tumor inside the stomach or somewhere, you will send the camera based on the precision cutting, so you'll be cutting the tumor off, and so that the treatment is going to happen. That is also comes under the IoT, where the embedded Linux is the Linux is a part of that developing that IoT applications and all. So IoT people, you will be the backbone for the embedded Linux. So great stuff. So I'm going to open this one.
Your Chrome is not visible.
Yeah, I know. We'll share the time. Stop here. Again, stop. Please let me know if you can see my screen.
Yes, we can see.
Great. So as we said, the target audience who are doing their bachelors and who have done their bachelors, and even though they're working in some testing positions, who want to seek their career as a developer. So you're pretty welcome to ProV Logic. Uh, that's the uh, welcome anthem, we can say. So, we will be teaching you guys like the ARM architecture, the ARM processor, the powerful thing for each and every embedded and VLSI engineers needs to be aware of. So the Linux internals, and also, as I said, like the prerequisites, familiarity with the digital electronics, that's somehow not needed, but basic programming, as I don't think these all the three things are needed, but this is really if you guys are equipped with any of these things, like you're a great, you have great stuff to start this course, and you will be proving yourself in next 3 to 4 months, and you'll be joining in some great organization. That's where like as I said, like C is the stuff we are mostly concentrating into. So how the C will deal with the hardware and all. So that would be will be teaching, right? So great. And and also this is where actually the a new thing we want to say. So it's a BeagleBone with Yocto, and so you embed Linux with Yocto and BeagleBone. So can anyone aware of the Yocto and BeagleBone? At least say hi, like raise your hand or like give me thumbs up. I can able to at least analyze that people will be having understanding regarding the Yocto and embedded Linux. So can you have you ever heard about the BeagleBone or like any Yocto previously? Anyone worked on them? At least raise their hand or like give thumbs up. Sujit is saying no. Someone. Please, you're not charged for asking something or saying something in this meeting. You're much welcome to say something. You can like just be kid, just act as a kid. If you don't know anything, just open your mouth and ask me. You're much welcome to do so because the shyness. We will be taking that off anyhow. Take off your shyness. It won't give you. It won't get you food at the end of the day. You know, like just the way you talk to your friends, you can talk here. It doesn't mean to say something bad here. Okay, the thing is like you can ask like even though if you are innocently asking anything, no one cares about it. It's at the end of the day you need to be get knowledge about that thing. That's what we are expecting. Okay. Okay, people, most of the people not aware of the Yocto. So that's where we will be teaching them the Yocto. Once you are done with the C language, so we'll be teaching the Yocto. So this where uh, it is like the beagle bone, which is like the you can see the image that is running background, right? So in the background, so you can see this board is the beagle bone, which is a developer. It's a every developer loves this board like anything because it have a better with this board. So embedded Linux, we are making you guys equipping your with your brain set with like your mindset with the embedded Linux and all, and making you to understand the Yocto tool where we have it's a building tool where we build all the stuff software that are needed for system to completely run up, and we'll be developing the applications. So the Yocto, if you the Yocto is the one where it gonna um, uh, it's a great tool, I can say. However, you're gonna make your Linux to work on what in whichever way you want to your system to work on, you can deal that. Suppose if you the Linux kernel, which is an open source thing which is available to each and every people in the world, right? So the Yocto utilize the same kernel based on the way you define your recipes in the Yocto. It's gonna deal. Suppose in the chat box, I'll pick two names. Don't take me back. Okay. Hello. Okay. Suppose I'll pick Sujit and Karthik here. So Sujit is working on some space applications. He will customize his Linux kernel based on the space applications. How we wanna his Linux kernel to act like. Suppose Karthik is working on some Navy applications. Suppose any war applications, like any war Navy, such sort of things he's working on. So he will customize his Linux kernel. So it's need to work with each and every war applications that he wants to, he can operate from. He will be sitting at the red fort in India. He will be he wants to some missile to send somewhere in the world so that he can launch his missile by sitting at his office in the red fort or somewhere, because he will be anything, right? So if he is the primer, if he is the sole leader of India, he can launch his business sitting at his office just by clicking one button, something like that, right? So we Yocto will help you to mold your application. No, in terms of if you define your application pretty standard with pretty standards in your brain, you can customize that using the recipes that are defined in the Yocto. That's what I want to say. You got it right. So Yocto is a build tool. You can make your recipes to work according to your specific application and launch that kernel into the system you have and make your system to work. That's where like the Yocto is. So we don't have any war missiles or like any medical appliances. We have one powerful tool that is like BeagleBone. So this board will be providing. This is chargeable, so it costs you 6,000 to 7,000 somewhere. So that the people are interested in joining the course, you can discuss with your ProV Logic team and all, so that they'll provide you the board again. So based on if you guys have the board, you are kicked to uh, kickstart. You can kickstart with the driver development. First, we need to make our Linux. We will compile. The first step is like we will be compiling the Linux kernel. So we will be compiling the whole software with our own hands from the Yocto, if possible Yocto. If not possible, we'll be building that with the conventional method, conventional build methods and conventional make file. Will be building that. So the whole software will be compiled with our hands from the conventional method initially. Once you are good with understanding the conventional method, you will be joining in. You will be working with the Yocto soon after that one, so that you will be porting your all the Linux, all the software that you have built into the BeagleBone, so that your once your board is ready up, so that you will be working. Is a mini computer is ready with you once you put the BeagleBone, and so that it's almost similar to your laptop. So I don't think it's similar to the laptop, but your laptop will be having whatever the RAM you have. That much RAM doesn't be having with the BeagleBone. I don't think it will be having 2 or 4 GB as a RAM, and it will be having somewhere around quad core or octa core. But you will be having more cores on your laptop if you are using the powerful laptop and all. It would be act as a i3 sort of you know the i3, right? i3 i5 Intel i3 i5. So it will be it will be similar to the i3 range Linux system. Okay, so for 7,000, you'll be getting the i3 uh, brand new. Uh, what's that like the laptop? So you can like it will be anything. You can mount. You can invoke any driver you want to develop once you are familiar with the Linux driver architecture and all. So driver implementation, you can install and mod probe. You can pull the driver in. You can pull out the drivers out, so that you can plug and play with these drivers and all. Once you are familiar with these things, that's where we will try to play with the Linux with the BeagleBone as well. So once you're ready with these development boards and all, so that you know you're so if you say you have experience in working with a BeagleBone, so and so I have suppose I can say one simple application. I have written a character driver which makes me to use the BeagleBone. So I have ported this into my BeagleBone, and I have written something into the Linux memory, and I pull the information out. So if you say that, the interviewer will be understanding that, oh, he might be having a great understanding regarding the Linux kernels and the BeagleBone he have used. If the people are using the BeagleBone, it is not really easy job. A lot of things need to be understand from zero to boot the board up. That's where like from zero to board bring up, you need 4 elements need to be the software you needs to be compiled from your hands on. So that's where the things comes on, right? So he will be understanding that if he can able to bring up the board, no matter whether it's Raspberry Pi 3, Pi 4, Pi 5, or any BeagleBone. So he will be thinking, oh, he have compiled the software already. The build process, the boot process. He have booted the BeagleBone, so he is okay. Okay, so that's how the people will think of. the interviews will think of. Okay. So, so Ritika, you raised your hand. What's that? Vartika, sorry. Do you have any doubt, Vartika? That's great. Can you see the screen?
Your screen is not visible.
Okay, I'm sharing it again. Okay, it is visible, right? As I said, like without using the slides and also I have explained. So the board bring up activity, this is the very important stuff for you people to understand the board bring up activity and the system integration. Integration is nothing but like how you will be designing, you will be developing the device driver. So I'll be teaching you the character driver, and I'll also teaching you some network drivers and block drivers, so that like you will be writing the driver. So what is the purpose of writing the driver in this agenda of a meeting? I can't explain you more about the drivers, what the drivers and all. But one day, once you people are interested in joining this course, we will make you to dig more about the Linux internals. Guys, keep it in your mind, no matter whether where you're taking your course and all. But if you guys are interested in working with the Linux, it will make you a super engineer, a super world-class engineer. Soon after, like you will struggle like anything, even though if you're working in the industry for 1 to 2 years of your life. But when you are feeling comfortable with Linux, you will be in the great comfort zone of earning any money, good amount of money. You don't even know that how Silicon Valley in US, like in New York, the people who are working on the Linux operating system, how they are earning. It's a huge money, like I'm not like praising, I'm not making you to take these things in a misconceptional way, but I really appreciate the people who wants to seek their career as an embedded software engineer, especially with the Linux. I appreciate you. So I said like strong foundation with C, and the Linux internals I'll be explaining the boot process and the firmware development. So this won't be the part of this course, but the firmware development, how it works, we will be explaining you. So firmware development involves a great understanding regarding the hardware and the bare metal stuff and all, where you need to understand the hardware more when you're developing the firmware. So I'll just explain how which firmware we are working on, how it is used and all. So the reverse drivers, the skeletons of a driver, because the driver, if you guys heard about the word called reverse drivers previously, it's not all about writing the whole driver from the scratch, but if the drivers are already implemented. If any new hardware which is not really there in the world, if you want to write the driver, then we need to develop from the scratch. Okay, so that would be the case scenario. So these drivers, device drivers, the people who are wants to develop, at least like a way, the people uh, taking training here, they'll understand the existing drivers, the skeleton, right? So that would be I'll be teaching here how the network drivers and how the block drivers and how character drivers are implemented. The skeleton for it, you to understand, it needs a great what was that like commitment are needed. So real-time embedded Linux. We'll be porting the driver, we'll be porting all the stuff what we have learned here in the first 4 phases into the real-time BeagleBone. So we'll be porting that up, and we are making the board bring up activities so that you will be working closely with the BeagleBone. So once you're up, it's a Capstone project. So if you mention that project into your resume, so you are much appreciated for any role. Okay, so you will get a really quick calls, and embedded role. So in the phase 8, we will be taking off the interviews. So this would be done. So first 4 months is of training, and once you have done with the phase 6 activity, you are ready with the interviews and also the capstone. If you would be mentioning the some great projects into your resume, right? So that you will once you place your resume in Naukri or LinkedIn, you will be feeling that the calls from next day onwards. That is like much promising from ProV Logic, and we will also support you with the whatever the connections we have. We will be providing that as well. So, but what actually the thing we need from you guys is like the commitment for the next 4 to 5 months, and yeah, be regular to the classes every day. That's what I can say. And so this is what I have said here. So hands-on lab uh, and the real hardware exposure with the BeagleBone, 1:1, one-to-one mentorship and the industry case studies. I'll be teaching you the real scenarios, what was happened in the industry previously, and the interview preparation. Guys, like we will be giving you a very boost. We will boot you guys right with interview readiness and also they'll be taking off the mock interviews, so you can really enjoy your next 4 to 5 months of your time here at ProV Logic. That's what we are promising here. And assignments are really regular if the people are interested. So they need to do assignments. I'll be really harsh in terms of assignment, and also you have to really do the assignments and the project if you are assigned with. So that's where as I said, like this course would be best for the test engineers and hardware engineers. So once you're done with this, I said you'll be confidently cracking the interviews. That's where we have for design the course like anything. And Prashanti, career growth opportunities you can explain from here on.
Yeah, sure, Banu. So hope everyone understood till now whatever the discussion went. So this course is especially for both freshers and also working professionals. Okay. So our main goal is to give proper training for the students which are to get into the developing role, because see, from past 2 months onwards I am talking with a lot of recruiters in most of the companies. Recently yesterday I went to Honeywell Technologies also.
That's great. Yeah,
They
yeah.
um they also told like they have totally 80% of embedded testing engineers. They are looking for the developer. Honeywell is mainly into the embedded systems. 80% they are working on aerospace related projects. It's a big
Yes,
company
yes.
actually. In Hyderabad also it is a very big company. So yesterday I just went for embedded systems placements only. So we are into we structured this course to provide the best knowledge who are actually looking in the industry. According to the industry requirement, what they are expecting from the freshers or even from the working professionals. According to that we have structured. Even if you say the device drivers and the big bagel something boards and all, okay, according to the requirement from the industry we just structured this. So definitely 100% you will get the great knowledge, hands on, totally hands on. Okay, if you see Banu here, he have a good experience in embedded developing, and also he is working in AMD. Not only Banu, there are remaining some there is a Venkatesh from AMD. He is also going to involve in this embedded training. Okay, so definitely after this, if you spend just 4 to 5 months properly, if you are dedicated with this course and if you are dedicated yourself, okay, to get into the good opportunities, then this course is best for you actually. Okay, and also we are providing the best LMS portal to you from ProV Logic. There you will get all the assignments, the recorded sessions, live sessions, and also the examinations you will get, and also regular mock interviews. Because you, if you know the concept, that is okay, but the way of explaining to the interviewer, that's where the most of the people are lagging. Even they know the concept, but they are not able to explain the people properly. Okay, if we go some interview, they just check everything in 30 minutes, how the way of explaining is. Okay, so
That's really important to note, you
yeah,
guys, right?
so
So
that's
if
why.
people are, the interviewer can able to identify whether the people, whether the person is knowledgeable in the first 10 to 15 minutes. That's where that is really a great point for you guys to note down, right? So yeah, this kind of question.
So there will be every weekend mock interviews and also online tests. Okay, so these mock interviews are helpful for to remove the shyness and also for improve the communication skills and all. Okay, so if you have any doubts, if you want to know more about the course and all, already in ProV Logic website we have already kept all Linux, embedded Linux related course content. So you just have a look, and if you have any doubts, you can speak out now. Okay, and coming to the
Yeah,
placements, this is also placement oriented course. Already in VLSI, we are providing the placements. It's a job guarantee. We are providing in online and offline training. In embedded systems, we have started, and also we are collaborating with the companies. So already we have talked with the Honeywell. Maximum they are going to hire the engineers, and AMD. Most of our trainers are from AMD, right? Definitely, you will get the placement from AMD. And also Bosch, we are collaborating with the most of the companies in embedded. Okay, so as we are taking only few members, only 10 people, or we are taking for batch, so it is not a much deal to place the people into the company. Okay, so yourself you can decide, because this is the best course we are providing in the industry. I don't know other what others are providing. I even didn't check what others are providing. I just discussed with these people who are working in a good company according to their insights. I just make this course content, and I just want to deliver
yeah.
properly
So when
at
actually,
developer.
sorry to both of you and interrupt you. So when the course structure, if you can see, guys, so it is like design what actually the stuff that the real time managers in the real the companies that they're looking for. So if people can aware of this stuff and all, so they know what actually Linux, how the processor is working, and how the Linux are making. Because I'm talking more about the Linux because I'm a Linux guy. I worked in Linux, so that would be great chance. That's why I appreciate the people who wants to take their career into Linux. You will be rocking for the next couple of years because whatever the new AI applications, that would be like AI for them. They need Linux, right? So great stuff.
And also the salary wise, you have very good salary growth in your career. If you are in a developer, always developer
Yeah.
have a good career, and also good salaries compared to testing. Okay, so even if you are in some other IT or in some testing role, try to get into the developer, so it will be good for you and and your career goal. Okay, so that's
Yeah.
it from our side. So if you have any doubts, just speak out. Okay, and we'll end the session.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is in a purely online session or offline.
It's totally online session, but some weekends we will plan offline for mock interviews and in terms of board bring up. That time we
Yeah.
will try to plan
So,
weekends.
yeah, Prashanti, I'll explain. So, the board bring up activities and working on the hardware, it's really need the human presence with the trainer, right? So, if possible, when you guys are like wants to work, like it's a broad. Anyhow, we have boards here at the ProV Logic. So if you people wants to work on the boards from your side, like if it is not possible for you guys to come on to the ProV Logic config every day, it would be online sometimes, and you will be much appreciated to come to the office. You will be welcome all the time to the office. You can come and you can work on the hardware. So it is of a hybrid sort of thing, mostly online. Sometimes like when you guys not able to get idea about the lab sessions and all, you can come to the office so that they're here, the people are there available, so that they'll be explaining you the stuff.
And what about course fee details?
You can talk to Prashant.
For
So
fees details, you can inquiry us. I will share you the details, the WhatsApp number. You can inquiry to us. Okay, we will share. And
just
also,
put that in the
mostly the
chat
course
box so
is
that
going to start. The course is going to start in mid of December, mostly 20 by that time.
Okay, fine.
So I'm just sharing the WhatsApp number in the chat box. So if you have any queries, you just inquiry there.
Yeah, okay, sure.
Uh,
hi Ashwin.
uh, Hi, sir. I'm firmware engineer having around 1.5 years of experience. Around 2 years, it will be in April. I will be having the experience. Um, Generally, I talked to you in earlier also. Um,
You talked to me. Oh, Ashwin, that's you. Okay. Yeah.
uh, Earlier, I talked to you.
Yeah. I remember you. So, regarding the placement, right? So,
Yes, sir.
so you were working as an intern somewhere.
No, sir. I'm working. I'm having around 1.5 years of experience
Okay, great.
in firmware
Ah,
domain. In firmware domain.
okay. Yeah,
Uh,
even though if you are into the firmware domain, so the firmware, software, and the hardware, it's like a combination of three flavors, which is like firmware, software, and the hardware. So if you are into the firmware, it's a big flavor combination of the software and the hardware. You can if you want to switch your career into the software. Software and IT are completely different, guys. Please don't mix them up. Software is a
sir,
part like a where we.
sir, for
Hello.
how many days you provide placement assistance, sir?
The placement
For
assistant. That's what I'm saying,
We will
right? So
provide
whenever
till
you
1 year.
1 year. Actually, for experienced people like me, the same 1 year,
see,
right?
see. So you are experienced and you can able to write something in. So if I asked you to write logic in C or some other language, you can able to do it, right? So people, what actually my assumption when we are designing the course, what our assumptions was like we will be finishing the stuff within the 4 to 5 months of the initial. From if we start today, from here on for next 4 to 5 months between, we'll be finishing off with the board bring up activities. From there on, we'll be preparing the resumes. Once the resume is prepared, the people will be ready for the interview. And when they are ready for the interview with the stuff they have gained from this long period, so whatever we will feed them with the interview based mock interviews, and also we will deal with the mock interviews so that the people can able to crack the interviews, so that the process goes in the such hours, so that
Okay.
it's not like the people who are having the experience will crack the interview maybe in the very next day of their starting career course here in the ProV Logic, right? So it's all depends. When we are learning is a process. It takes some time. So we doesn't guarantee you soon after joining in the ProV Logic on very first day or second day. Maybe after first month or second month, we'll get you there. But what actually we are seeking from you is the commitment. When you are committed to learn the stuff, you are committed to get the job. When you are committed to get the job, you are committed to clear the interview. That's where the things go on. Okay, so don't expect the things in from very first day itself. Okay.
Okay, sir. Sir, actually, I talked to you on July 24 related thing via madam only through
Yes.
call. Uh,
Okay,
uh,
okay. I remember.
uh, Actually, you told that around 45 days training.
Oh,
Like
that's
that
not
you.
like, you are experienced in there and you are of 45 days. I said it is 45 days. I asked you, you are good with the Linux kernel. If you know the Linux, how it works, so that we will be starting immediately starting the projects. So once you're done with the projects, so that you'll be ready for interview in the 45 days. That's what we have said to you.
Okay, okay. Okay, okay. I am not familiar with
You have never
Linux.
turned up, right? So you said like, okay, sir, I'll let you my decision. That's what you said, and you have never turned up, and I don't know. But soon after your call, we have almost like placed the three candidates. Prashanti, say that.
Yeah, after that, like you people, they are from testing and some embedded related only. They took 45 days training. So nearly five students are joined. After that, okay, three students
Mhm.
are already placed. Remaining two mock interviews are going on.
Okay.
Yeah, same board bring up and some Linux related. All the Banu is taking care of that, the mock interviews, everything.
Hmm. Okay.
So if you guys can have any doubts, you can ask me, or else like you can talk to Prashanti. So she gave her number, right? So you talk to her, and if you can able to have any technical doubts, I'll be helping. She'll be forwarding the queries to me so that I'll answer to you in the WhatsApp group. So if you guys are interested, just send her an. So she's gonna set the pool with all the people. So if you guys are interested, you can join the WhatsApp group so that if you're interested, we'll be joining. We'll be starting the course from December 20 onwards. So yeah, that's what I want to say. I really congratulate you guys. You want to see your career in Linux. I appreciate you and all the very best for your career again. If you don't have any doubts, I'm dropping off.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for joining, and thank you, Banu.
Thanks. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay then.